I recently did a video interview with my friend Ron Ferlito. I've known Ron for probably 30 years or more. And he lives in the Phoenix, Arizona area, so getting together wasn't really going to work so well. So we did it by video, and it worked out fine. But one of the things we talked about years ago in my book, Developing an Effective Worship Ministry, I had used a vision statement that Ron had developed for a church where he was the worship leader. It was a really new church, and the vision statement was extremely comprehensive. Like, what should the music department look like, and what style of songs and our song repertoire, and how is that going to work, and reasons that we use music at all, and our interaction with the congregation. I mean, it was just super comprehensive. And so I used it, but I wanted people to get that picture of why. So I asked Ron, as we talked just recently, about why that was important, especially for a brand new church. And as we talked, he mentioned some things that made it important for back then. But I said, all right, Ron, what about now? Why would something like that be important now? And so I think this is an issue that a lot of worship leaders overlook. So I just want you to take a look at what Ron says.
Well, yeah, it was a very fledgling church. So much of what was in there wasn't happening yet. And that's part of why I wrote it, because I wanted to give people something to hang on to, something to vision, to have a mental picture of where we're headed. And so I wanted to fill in all the blanks so that other people wouldn't. I mean, I remember it was another church where I was, and the pastor used to say, the leadership of the church is the bus driver, and that people need to decide if they want to get on your bus or somebody else's. So if they don't know what direction you're going, if they don't have a sign saying where the bus is going, how they know, then they may just fill in the blanks in their own head. And there was a lot of that going on in a lot of places, and that had not been my very first experience, but I had been in other places where it seemed like people had different ideas. Things like, are we going to be, let me say this. Back then, it wasn't as cookie cutter as it is now. If you're going to be a contemporary sounding Christian worship church now, there's so many recordings, so many videos, so many people can get a picture of that. Back then, 30 years ago, what did that mean? Did that mean you're going to do hymns with a guitar instead of a piano? Did that mean you were going to, what kind of style, what kind of instruments? Even none of that had been decided. So that's why a lot of that was put out there. And I felt like it wasn't just good ideas. It was all through prayer. It wasn't just me. It was consensus. It was looking at who we had as volunteers, who we had, what the pastor's vision and what he would be comfortable with, and kind of, bigger pictures, like what is the character of our church? What are we about? What are we good at? What are we not good at? What can we do? What can't we do? So, I mean, we had a tuba player. I mean, what are we going to do with that? Well, she didn't play tuba except at Christmas time, but I think we put that in there. I think if you remember, there was stuff in there about special programs and using alternative instruments and things like that for that. I do believe it's still valid today, even though there's a better understanding when people say we're going to have a contemporary worship ministry. People have seen it, people have tasted it, it's been at other churches, they've seen videos and so forth. But you still have to make it yours. You still have to make it your own. What is possible for you to do with your size, the instrumental capabilities you have, and whether or not you are going to hire people in. I mean, there are some churches that do that. But still, that's part of their vision. That maybe they don't have the talent, but they've got the money. Well, fine. That's part of what God has given you. Talk about that, describe it, and then let everybody know so they know where the bus is going, so they know whether or not to get on it.
So like I said at the beginning, this was a very comprehensive vision statement that Ron had developed. And I am not necessarily telling you that you need to have one that is as comprehensive as what Ron did. But I do think it's important to have one, because just like he talked about people wanting to know whether they want to get on that bus or not, if you don't have some kind of understanding, some kind of plan of what you're all about and where you're going, how are they going to know they want to buy into it? And so I want to challenge you to think about that. What should that mean for you? If you don't have some sort of vision statement for your worship ministry in your church, I think it might be a good idea for you to begin to develop something like that. And I'm not telling you sit down tonight, write the whole thing, take some time, pray about it. What's important for your church? What are your church's priorities? And incorporate those things into it so that it will be as accurate and realistic as possible for you over the long term. Maybe, a year from now, you're going to want to make some changes. I get that. But at least start someplace and start formulating something that is going to be something that people can look at and say, yeah, I want to be a part of what this is all about.
Brought to you by myworshipleadingcoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.